Trojan Valley. What's up, man? USCJ here. It's the top of the morning. Listen, I hope everybody is getting ready to get up, get out, and make some things happen this morning. Listen, I got a Kool-Aid smile on my face because he's back. He is officially back. And who am I talking about? I'm talking about no other than the legendary coach, Pete Carroll. We're going to talk about him because there are some good things on the table right now. I want to talk about him. I also want to talk about Louisville being favored in the football game against the USC football Trojans. You guys remember that? You guys remember what all the national media was saying about Louisville? We'll talk about that. And they had all these betting lines. Louisville was like a 7-point favorite. I heard different podcasts, even podcasts that were USC podcasts. Did you guys remember some of them? They said that USC was going to get crushed against Louisville. Yours truly kept the faith and said that, look, USC was going to beat Louisville. I think we're going to see the same thing against the LSU football Tigers. I'm going to talk about that. But real quick, we got to talk about this. Pete Carroll is back. It's go time. It's on and popping. It's on and cracking. Now, what's crazy is I brought this question up when I first heard yesterday in the video, when I first heard that Pete Carroll is coming back to teach. He'll be teaching, I guess, in the spring. And I asked the question, I said, what do you guys think? You think that would be a conflict of interest? You got chemistry here at USC. How do you think, Lincoln Riley would respond to that? And I'm going to play Lincoln clip what he said. But Lincoln actually came with open arms, and the comments that he made in the USC football press conference was absolutely beautiful, man. You guys know, man, Pete Carroll, legendary coach. One of the things I said yesterday, I said that I would bring him back for recruiting alone, just the landscape of California. But we know that California has changed. We understand that. We understand that a lot of the inner city guys are getting bussed out to Sierra Canyon, modern day, St. John Bosco. They get bussed out to all these schools, Centennial. Different schools, but you still have some inner city schools, and you still got some other schools that they can go to, that kids can go to that Coach Pete Carroll may be familiar with, whether it's Inglewood. What's crazy is I heard that Crenshaw, and my dad, by the way, played in it. I should have brought that up, but he played in the first inaugural Crenshaw High School football game. But I'm hearing that they have no players now, which is crazy. They only had like 500 students. That is absolutely insane. But here's the thing, though. Pete Carroll, he understands the landscape of the USC football Trojans, and he understands he was successful there. He understands how to recruit in-state, out-of-state, and just to be a mentor. You guys remember a video I did back maybe a couple of months ago when Pete Carroll first got fired. Should USC bring Pete Carroll back? And I said maybe as an analyst or whatever, if anything, as a mentor. But here's what Lincoln Riley had to say in reference to Pete Carroll possibly coming back. He's welcomed him basically with open arms, man. And so big shout out to Lincoln Riley for even saying that. But listen to what Lincoln had to say in reference to that. I just thought it was absolutely incredible. Listen to this.
This is great. Coach has been great to me. We've had a chance to catch up pretty often, check in with each other. He's been a great resource and a great person to be able to pick his brain, and he's been very good to me. So yeah, shoot, I'm excited he's going to be here more, and would be crazy to not take advantage of having him around. So whether it's in an official role or not, he's made it very clear that we've got a good open line of communication. It's one that I appreciate and respect very much, and we'll always never hesitate to pick up the phone and call him or to reach out to him, because of obviously how successful he was as a coach. And he's obviously got a great knowledge of this place. I've been appreciative of his help and his friendship, and be glad to have him around a lot more.
It's incredible just for Lincoln Riley to even acknowledge. He could have the big head and say, look, we already have this thing established. You don't have, how many people would actually do that? How many people would actually welcome back a coach like Pete Carroll? But to me, just looking at his face and just looking at the comments, you can always tell when something is real. And I just felt like that was just a real statement. And what we say You know, we used to say in the hood, game recognized game, real recognized real. Well, Lincoln Riley recognized real, and to have somebody like him around is absolutely wonderful, man. So you guys can drop those comments, man. You guys can let me know what you think. You guys already know where you can find me. Listen, everybody that comes on, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. You guys already know where you can find me. It's USCJ32 on Instagram. It's USCJ32 on Twitter. Listen, when you hit that like button, it helps me out with the algorithms. It helps me out. And then hit that subscribe button. Get those subscribers up, man. There are a lot of people that view this channel on a regular basis. So make sure you get that subscriber up. Look, I want to talk about now. What I want to talk about is Louisville game. There were some interesting things with the Louisville game in reference to that. There were some betting lines. There were a lot of things that were going on prior to that game. Like I said, I even seen other podcasts that were associated with, and I got to talk about something else too. And I'm gonna get on this after. I should have just covered it now because it was Lincoln Riley talking about NIL, but I'll cover it. Let me stay on this Louisville thing real quick. But there were some other things that were, yeah, shoot. Okay. Anyway, but there were a lot of podcasts that were saying that Louisville was going to beat USC. And I feel like personally that USC is really in the same situation as it was with Louisville. And shout out to my man, Phil Parker. He actually brought this up to me. And I said, you're absolutely correct. And but it hit my mind. Louisville, LSU, same type of thing. They said they were going to be out. They were going to out physical us. They were going to put it on us. We weren't going to handle them. And then what's crazy is when we beat them, then we start hearing all kinds of excuses that they didn't have all they players. Well, look, we didn't have. You know how many play? We didn't have our best player, Caleb Williams. We didn't have Caleb Bullock. We didn't have Solomon Byrd. I mean, we had several guys. We didn't have Shane Lee. We had several guys that were out that didn't play. And but we heard all these different excuses as it relates to why USC won. But it was an absolute beatdown. They had most of their players. We had more players gone than what they did. And so I think that this is the same game, very similar in play. And don't forget, Louisville was actually a team that beat up on Notre Dame last year, a team that played Florida State tough, even though Florida State didn't have their starting quarterback. But, you know, Louisville was supposed to be a physical team. They beat a good Duke team last year. I mean, they played a lot of teams tough. They went, 10-2, 10-3? And so, you know, you can't discredit who Louisville was as a team. And it's the same way with LSU. I really see it the same way. And they weren't prepared for Miller Moss. And you guys know, I keep saying it, and I will reiterate that USC absolutely went out there, dominated the game. And Miller Moss had the quick reads. He processed everything very quick. And that was one of the things that Lincoln Riley actually said in his press conference today, talked about Miller Moss, how smart he is, how he processes everything. And look, man, it's straight up go time with Miller Moss, man. I mean, very, very intelligent player. And you know, I'm super excited about what's getting ready to take place. And, you know, I brought this video up yesterday talking about Deanton Lynn and the statement that he made. For those who didn't see it, Deanton Lynn said as well, he said that USC's defensive line is just as good as, actually, he said it's more depth. USC's defensive line has more depth than the UCLA defensive line. And when I heard that today on the same press conference, I just, I could have did backflips in the house. I mean, it was incredible just to hear that, and did a short video on that. But listen, man, you guys drop those comments, man. You guys tell me what you think. Louisville is the same type of situation as USC, and I'm excited about it. Louisville, LSU rather, is the same situation as Louisville. And so you guys can drop those comments. You guys can tell me what you think. One more thing that Lincoln Riley addressed was the NIL situation. You guys know there's been NIL talk. We talked about it plenty on here. But Lincoln Riley, he I don't even know how to say it. I don't even know if I need to say if Lincoln Riley came clean or if he just confessed it, or I don't even know how to say it. But this is one of the statements that he made in the press conference. And I wouldn't even say come clean. This was just, I don't know what you guys tell me in the comments. What do what would you say this comment was? But look, this is what he said. USC head coach Lincoln Riley said, and he's talking about NIL. He says that he's been able to be more aggressive with high school recruiting, NIL, than they have ever been. He said in the beginning, we were going into a gunfight with like a toy sword. Lincoln Riley said in reference to NIL that they were going into a gunfight with he didn't say with a knife. He said with a toy sword. I mean, really? And so, I mean, hey, look, man, we already know what the NIL situation was. Apparently everything is getting fixed now. And I think it's straight up go time, man. It's on it popping. It's on it cracking. Look, we're going to see shifts in the high school football change. I mean, that's the landscape. I told you guys in the beginning. We started with state out. Then we switched to, we were the Boulevard, all these different things. And then now we just seen recently that the Conquest is no longer. Jeff McKay from the Conquest just recently went over to House of Victory. So he's going to be on their board. And so now we have all this stuff, these moving pieces, things are moving and grooving, and it's straight up go time. And listen, all of these things at one time, it seems like USC is absolutely, we had some bumps in the road, but we were able to sustain. USC is absolutely moving and grooving in every area, every aspect of the football program, whether it's the facilities being upgraded, whether it's the NIL. Big Mike Williams is now back. Pete Carroll is now back. Everything is on it popping. It's on it cracking. You guys hit me in the comments. You guys tell me what you think. It is straight up go time. So look, man, I'm about to be out of here. But look, I wanted to show you guys. Look, I got a new. You guys know that I am a huge USC hat guy. And this is one of my new hats I just got, man. I haven't seen this one. I haven't seen anybody, man. You guys drop those comments, man. You guys tell me what you think about this one, man. But